9. Last time we discussed the first 4 Doctors of Doctor Who, and in this part we shall discuss the next 6.
At the end of the last episode, we discussed the 4th Doctor's disappointing death. His dramatic drop made him regenerate into a cricket player, aka Peter Davidson. Why am I calling him a cricket player? Because of his stupid costume.
Peter Davison, 1981 to 1984, was in contrast to Tom Baker, who was relatively unknown before Doctor Who, because he had been on British television before on All Creatures Great and Small, where he played Tristan Farnon.
So pretty much, he went from a shadow in Tom Baker to a swimmingly accomplished actor in Peter Davison. Well, what's funny about that is that Tom Baker was 11 years Peter Davison Sr. His premiere serial was Castrovalva, which aired in 1981, in which the Doctor's regeneration wasn't exactly going well.
He appeared in 20 stories, which is equal to 69 episodes. His final story was Caves of Androzoni, which aired in 1984, where the Doctor and his new companion Pretty Perry were poisoned. The Doctor gave the antidote to Pretty Perry, and thus he was forced to regenerate in an equally undramatic fashion as the 4th Doctor, minus the illusions he saw of his past.
He made a returning appearance in Doctor in 2007, where he met the 10th Doctor. His acting career is still going, and his most recent appearance was in Midsummer Murders in July 2009, but he is still most famous for his early career.
And now we go on to possibly the most bizarre and arrogant of the Doctors, the 6th. He was played by Colin Baker, no relation to Tom Baker, who donned a technicoloured dream coat and matching suit. He started his Doctor Who career in 1984, and his full first serial was The Twin Dilemma, where he is completely mad and doesn't think, which is a rarity for the Doctor. This was due to a regenerative crisis, which translates into an extreme midlife crisis.
Luckily, this didn't continue for the next 10 stories he starred in. But in 1986, he was accused by the BBC Big Shots of reducing viewer numbers. Thus, his last story premiered only 2 years after his first. It was called Trials of a Time Lord, which consisted of 4 serials and 14 episodes. In these, he was put on trial. Connor, I know you think the 4th Doctor had a pathetic death, but the 6th takes the cake. He fell off an exercise bike while talking about carrot juice.
Then slithered Sylvester, cementing his place in Doctor Who history. Sylvester McCoy was the Doctor for 9 years, but most of which were during Doctor Who's cancellation. However, while it was being broadcast, he was one of my favourite Doctors, despite being played by a Scottish actor. The 7th Doctor was portrayed as a typical English gentleman, with the umbrella and the posh costume.
And while I know this isn't relevant to how he was a gentleman, he rolled his R's. The thing that I like about him is the fact that when he debuted, he was a funny man that everyone could like. But later on he got darker and darker. The change was certainly interesting to say the least. But anyway, he starred in Time and the Rani, where the Doctor had to face a Time Lord enemy called the Rani. He had 11 stories after that, and his last episode was the TV movie in 1996.
The TV movie was an attempt to bring back Doctor Who with a new Doctor. It was made in America after the BBC sold the rights. The 8th Doctor was played by the up-and-coming actor Paul McGann, who had made television appearances in such programmes as the monoculled mutineer in the film Empire of the Sun.
In an attempt to compliment the film, I did enjoy his performance, if nothing else. The film was based on the Master coming back from the dead, then to steal the Doctor's regeneration. Reference to Trials of a Time Lord, maybe? Well, what I liked about this Doctor was how he acted almost human, owing into the part of the fact that he was half human on his brother's side. A Spock rip-off, probably?
Though, the main part of the Doctor's career was off-screen, making audio adventures appearing in comics and books.
9 years later, Doctor Who reappeared on British screens with a new actor, Christopher Eccleston, who was my least favourite Doctor. The Doctor was in direct contrast to his predecessors, as he dressed in moderately modern dress with his leather jacket and all.
At which point Coronation Street, EastEnders and Emmerdale descended on the plotline and Doctor Who began to include families and relationships. It still was a sci-fi, but not to the same degree.
Anyway, Christopher was only there for a year, 10 stories, which made him the second shortest lasting Doctor if you include Paul McGann's 9 years, or 1 year. Some ideals were brilliant, like Bring Back the Autons in his premiere episode, Rose, but the finale starts the Dalek abuse, in which Daleks were used in every series.
Previous to Doctor Who, he had made many appearances in big TV programmes such as Inspector Morse and Our Friends in the North. He is set to appear in the G.I. Joe live-action film as the villain Destro.
His successor, who is the current Doctor, is David Tennant. Tennant has been voted as the best Doctor of all time, but Con and I disagree. This may be because most of the people who voted probably only seen the new series. While we disagree, he's still an excellent actor, we must admit.
In 2006, he popped into the main seat as the Doctor in the Christmas special, The Christmas Invasion. But his first proper episode appearance was in New Earth, where he and his companion Rose went to the future to see what New Earth is like. His final episode has been named The End of Time and had a trailer shown at Comic Con 2009. David Tennant has been the Doctor for 5 years.
Well, that's all for the Doctors that have been in the Doctor that is. Next time we'll be speculating on the next Doctor, Matt Smith. Goodbye.